In this tutorial, I'm going to show you the basics of SolidWorks. Once you log onto your computer, you should have a SolidWorks icon that looks like this. Do not get confused with a DWG editor. Do not click on this. If you cannot find the SolidWorks icon, go to the Start menu, Programs, SolidWorks 2008. Look in the SolidWorks 2008 folder, and then you'll find the SolidWorks 2008 icon that you can click on. It may take a couple of minutes for SolidWorks to load on your computer, depending on which computer you're on. Also remember that there are two computers that I pointed out to you earlier that must be on in order for SolidWorks to work in the class. Make sure those two computers are on, and if you're using one of those computers, please do not cut that computer off. When SolidWorks first comes up, there's nothing there. You must select a new file. So click on New. When it first comes up, it already has part selected for you, and that's what we want to do. So you can click OK. I'm going to quickly now show you the basics of getting something drawn on SolidWorks. We're going to use two tabs, Sketch and Features. You may have more tabs than that up here, but the two that we're going to focus on is Sketch and Features. There's a pattern to this. I'm going to start out with Sketch. After I click on Sketch, you see all these drawing tools here. I'm going to start with a rectangle. What I want to draw is a box, and so that's what we're going to do now. So I click on Rectangle. After I click on Rectangle, you see all these different planes come up. They want you to choose one. We are usually going to choose the front plane. So I'm going to click on Front. After I click on Front Plane, you'll notice that there's a skewed box here. This is not the rectangle that I'm going to draw. This is just a representation of the surface that you're drawing on. But it's not the box. It's not the rectangle that I'm going to draw. This surface right now is kind of slanted. I want to make it straight. I want to make it so the surface that I'm drawing on is facing directly towards me. To do that, you can come up, and if you have this toolbar here, you see that it has front, back, left side, right side, top, and bottom. And it has some other isometric, trimetric, and dimetric. Right now this is in trimetric. If I come over and click on front though, now my front plane will be facing towards me. If you do not have this toolbar, you need to come over to your gray area and do a right click. Then come down and go to Standard Views and click on it so that this is highlighted. Now I can finally draw my rectangle. You see I have a pencil there, and I can just click. I'm going to start at the origin. The origin is 0, 0. So if you think of it just like you would in math class with a graph, if you're graphing something, 0, 0 is here. And that's where I want to start at. I'm going to click and drag, and that gives me my rectangle. And you saw that front plane goes away, and that's okay. So now it won't confuse us anymore. So there goes my rectangle. I can come back up here and I can click on front again, and it brings it right to me. I can click on the back. Of course, it doesn't look any different from the side. It looks just like a line, and so forth. We're going to go back to the front view again. After I sketch something, then I'm going to go to Features, and that's the pattern. Sketch, Features, Sketch, Features, Sketch, Features. You have to go back and forth between the two. And you notice that when I click on Features, a different set of menu or a different set of tools comes up. When I click on Features right now, not very many of the tools are actually highlighted or in color that I can choose. And that's okay. We're going to stick to the basics right now. So I'm going to click on this big one here. It says Extrude. Extrude means to push out. So for example, if that green stuff right there was Play-Doh, it's being pushed out of a square, and that makes it into a square shape. So the neat thing about SolidWorks is that this extrusion that we're talking about is making it 3D for us. I'm going to click on Extrude, and as you can see right here, it's pushed through that rectangle and it's making it 3D for us. To make it larger or smaller, I can take the point of the arrow and click it, grab it, and move it back and forth. And I also can change the number here to make it a certain dimension. We'll talk about dimensioning in the next tutorial. Once I get that the size that I want, I can click on the check button. Now I have a box, and in order to look at this, again, I can click on these to look at the different sides. And I also can click on these buttons here to look at in different ways. Not only can I use this though, I can also take my scroll wheel on my mouse. I might have to click it first and scroll in and out. Sometimes people do that and they lose it and they can't find it anymore. If you do that, you can come back up here and click on one of these and they'll come back for you. I can also take my scroll wheel and click it and hold it, and then I can spin this around. I can also take my arrow keys on my keyboard and spin it around as well and move this around. I'm going to bring it back to this view. Let's do some other things to this box. So I'm going to go back to Sketch. So again, Sketch, Features, Sketch, Features, Sketch, Features. So I'm going to click on Sketch again. Let's choose a circle this time. So I'm going to click on Circle and I'm going to draw a circle. Now this time when I clicked on Circle, this yellow warning came up, and it's very important. Basically what it says is, hey, I'm a computer and I need to know which surface you're going to draw on, because depending on which surface you draw on, different things will happen. So for example, if we were to draw a circle here and then cut that circle into our box, our circle or our cylinder would go up and down, wouldn't it? But if I click, or if I draw the circle on this surface and then I cut the circle through the box, then our cylinder goes this way. So the computer needs to know which surface you're going to draw on. So all you have to do right now is click on a surface. You got 3 surfaces to choose from, or you can turn this around and choose one of the other surfaces. Which surface will you draw on? Please make sure you click on the surface and not on a line. If you click on a line, it confuses the computer and bad things happen, and it's very hard to get back to where you're supposed to be. So I'm going to click on this surface here, and now I have a pencil, and since I clicked on that surface, I need to draw a circle on that surface. Don't go to another surface, you need to draw on this surface. Now draw on it, and there goes my circle. So again, Sketch, Features, Sketch, Features. I'm going to go back to Features now. And I'm going to go, this time I can extrude it, but now I have another option with this button here to cut it. So let's cut it. And as you can see, the circle can go all the way through or just part way through. I can rotate this so I can see that really well. Now if I pull it out like this, it looks like I'm going to cut it through, or I'm going to make an extra feature here. But it's not. It's just showing you that the hole just keeps going as far as you want it to go, but it's a hole in nothingness. So it's not going to create anything there to make that surface. It's just cutting a hole through the box that we have. If I want to make it exact, I can just click through all, and it carries it from surface to surface. Now I can click check, and there goes a hole through a box. Let's do it again. I'm going to click on Sketch. This time I'm going to click on Line, and there goes that warning again. So let me click on the surface. I'm going to draw on this surface right here. So click on the surface. Now I can draw lines. When you draw lines, they all need to be connected, and in the end, it has to be completely closed. So I cannot leave my drawing like this and then do something with it. I must close this off like that. And all those lines must be touching each other. Now I just drew that with this facing out at a slant. But I could have come up here and clicked on my front view and looked at it faced on while I draw it. Now I'm going to click check here, and I can check it again. And what will I do? Sketch, Features, Sketch, Features. Now I'll go to Features, and I can either cut this or extrude it. Let's cut this one again. I can come here and choose through all to make sure it goes through the whole thing. And I can rotate this and look at it to make sure it is going through it, and then check it again. So now when I look at this, that's pretty cool. I can see how that circle and that shape there, when I cut both of them through, how they interact with each other. Let's do one more. So again, I go to Sketch. This time I'm going to choose a 3-point arc. Let's see, which surface do I want to draw on? Not that one. Not that one. There goes my left side. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Let's do my left side. So now I can click on that surface. A 3-point arc is exactly what it says. It's 3 points. So I click once, let go. Then I can drag, click again, let go. And then my third point, that was my second point. Now my third point, I can move this wherever I want and then click again. There goes my third point. Now I can't do anything with this because it's not enclosed. So I can come up here and get my straight line, or I could get another 3-point arc. Either one. Straight line, click, come across, click again, and now this is enclosed. So now I can come here and go to Features, because remember, Sketch Features, click on Features, and I'll extrude this. Now I can look and see what it looks like. It's a little long, so I'm going to pull it back in, or push it back in and click Check, and there goes my feature there. Before we end, let's look at how to add color really quick. You may have a color palette up here. If you don't have a color palette, you can go to do a right click here and come down and click on Standard. And Standard should bring up the tools that have the color palette in it. So I can click on Color and choose Red. Make this red. I have to click on all the surfaces. Now when I get done with that, the weird thing about SolidWorks is that you can only do one color at a time. So what I will have to do here is check and then click on the color palette again. Now I can choose a different color. So now I can choose green. Whoops. If you click on something and didn't mean to make it that color, you just click on it again and it removes the color. So I can make all these green here and then click check, and then I will choose a different color. Another way to add to your creation is to come up here and right beside SolidWorks. It doesn't show up all the time. See, it's gone now, but now when I come back up right beside SolidWorks, it comes again, are these drop down menus. If I go to Edit, Appearance, there goes color again, but there's also a brick wall with texture, and that's pretty neat. I can come in here and choose different things, such as even wood. And come down and choose maple, and you click on it and it gives you that maple grain, or pine. And you can change that around. Right now it looks kind of weird. I'm going to change that and move these a little bit here. There it goes. I like that grain, the way that grain looks a lot better. So it looks like the grain of wood there. And again, you'd have to check that out. And then if you wanted a different one on a different side, you'd have to go back to Edit and Appearance and choose that as well. For your assignment, you need to do the same thing. Draw a box out. That's the easiest thing to start with. And then just try sketching and then going through with your features and cutting things out or either extruding them.